Hey, how's it going? Well, I wanted to kind of do a little update, and this is not something that I normally do. I did a video on these, the H. Upmann 1844 Reserve Aperitifs, and the one that I ended up reviewing um, unraveled on me. I had some bad construction problems with it. Uh, Went ahead and uploaded the review anyway, and since then I've smoked my way through 2 tins of those. So I've smoked 12 of those. And the construction is so bad on some of those that you literally cannot get any smoke through them. They're so tightly rolled. It's like trying to smoke a stick. I mean, really, pick a stick up off the ground and try to smoke it, and that's the same amount of smoke you're going to get. You know, when I made that video, I assumed, well, I pulled a bad one out. The rest of them will probably be okay. Even though some of them looked bad, I like to give the benefit of the doubt. H. Upmann is a very respected company. They've been around for a long time. And I'm a cigar newbie, so who am I to judge them? So I gave them the benefit of the doubt. But like I said, now I've smoked my way through 2 tins of those. I cannot count on the construction of the Aperitifs. I've never smoked any other H. Upmann cigar, but what I did do is I ordered a 5-pack sampler of H. Upmann cigars, and that's going to be the next 5-pack that I go through whenever I get around to it. But the more Aperitifs that I smoked, the more it started to kind of weigh on my conscience that I'm going to have to do another video and let everybody know that I cannot recommend the H. Upmann Aperitifs because I can't rely on the construction. I mean, really, I feel like at this point, if I'm going to have one of those, it's really, I'm just rolling the dice. It's a 50-50 at best. There was one night where I went to smoke one, and the one that I was trying to smoke was, you couldn't get a draw out of it. So I ditched that one. I took another one out of the tin, and it had the exact same problem. And then I took a third one out of the tin, and I could smoke that one. But even that, the draw was way too tight. I had to put as much effort as I could to get something out of it. And so if that's the product, I cannot endorse that. I cannot recommend that with a clean conscience. I have occasionally gotten one that has a draw that's just fine. That is a smokable cigar. So now I'm trying to look for a silver lining here. Like I said, I try to give the benefit of the doubt, but if I have to say, well, every now and then I get one that's smokable, that's really not very high praise. So I just wanted to say all that. I'm also going to smoke one of these right now and give you a second review on it. I chose one at random, and cellophane does not want to come off. So you see, it's like you just don't know what to expect. Every time you pull one of these out of the tin and go to smoke one, you never know what you're going to get. And look at it. Look at the condition. I mean, what's that about? You see that? So I mean, the caps on these are really bad. I mean, look at that. You know, I mean, what can I say? Look, it's got such a visible stem on it. How could anybody not see that? I mean, the person who rolled this, they knew exactly what that was, and they knew better, but they did it anyway. So I'm gonna cut this, and I'm gonna try it. It has a draw. It has some kind of draw. That's weird. That feels weird to have that stem right there. Well, it did have a good draw. I think there's a leak in it somewhere. Yeah, it's leaking smoke out of the seam because the way this is put together. I don't know if you can see that, but the seam is very loose right there. I mean, it's really I'm shocked. I mean, I'm really shocked that the name H. Upmann, that seems to have respect. I mean, like I said, I'm a cigar newbie. I've never smoked an H. Upmann until this. But, part of what I'm doing here is I'm trying new stuff. And so I tried this. And I I had confidence that this was going to be a quality product, or else I would not have paid for it. I'm trying to try actually reputable, good cigars. Obviously, it must be difficult to roll these because it's so rare to find one that doesn't have a problem. And there have been times like the night that I mentioned when I had to go through 3 of them. That's half a tin just to get one that I could smoke. I was really angry that night. I felt like I'd been ripped off. Um, and I don't want anybody else to feel that way. And I certainly wouldn't want to feel responsible for that, like I had endorsed something that turns out to be junk. I don't know how well this is going to show up, but that weird stem thing is actually splitting. Now it's making it really just so uncomfortable, such an uncomfortable, awkward smoke. I feel like I've been ripped off. So this is just going to get worse and worse as I smoke it, just like the first one I reviewed. The end of it got worse and worse. You see what's happening here? That's so badly put together that even though you can see this is the cap, there's a teeny little sliver there. That's the cap. And this is just part of the wrapper that meets the cap. And I mean, it just wants to come right off. Just wants to come right off, like it's not even on there. I always try to be positive about my reviews. Um, the way I see it, I guess you could say part of my philosophy about cigars is that tastes and preferences can be very, very subjective. What I like, you might not like. What you like, I might not like. People like different things. I tried an acid candela one time that I literally could not smoke. Um, I couldn't get more than 3 puffs off of it. I could not do it. It was making tears come out of my eyes. It was making me want to sneeze. The perfume that was coming out of it was just too much for me. And, um, there are people out there that probably like it. That's probably their favorite. So that's subjective. But the thing that's not subjective is the construction. We can all agree no matter what flavors you like, we all agree. If you cannot smoke that cigar, it's no good. There's nobody who prefers a cigar that just can't be smoked. You know what I mean? So, construction is something that I will be tough on because there's no excuse, for one, from any company who is selling cigars. There's no excuse because the purpose of a cigar is that it's supposed to be smoked. Okay? The rest of it is completely subjective. I intentionally got their product over someone else's because of the name. They've been around for a long time. I expect at the bare minimum that I'm going to be able to smoke your cigar. I still want to have a smoke, you know. So hey, how about another one? Let's try this one. Let's roll the dice. Let's roll the dice and see what I can come up with on this one. Maybe I'll get lucky and have a smokable cigar that I won't have to immediately throw away. Tough draw. It's a very tight draw. Exactly what I've come to expect. It feels really weird. There's a giant soft spot right here. Right here. It's very, very soft, almost like there's a hollow part. And then right here there's a big bulge that's hard as a rock. I mean, I can feel it. So, you know, what more do I have to say? That's it, really. I mean, there's nothing else I can even say. H. Upmann Aperitifs. You might occasionally get one that's smokable. I wouldn't spend my money on it again. I wouldn't recommend anybody buying these. Too much of a crapshoot. It's ridiculous. You'd be better off going to the gas station and buying a pack of Philly or Swisher. Honestly. Because at least those have a reliable draw. You know, they're machine made, every single one of them is exactly the same. At least with that, it might taste awful, it might be weird, it might be made out of paper, but I would recommend smoking a Swisher or a Philly instead of this. So, sorry.